Okay guys, I hope you're doing alright. Welcome to your online CHS singing rehearsals. I hope you guys are staying safe. We're going to start our warm-up in the usual fashion with some stretches. We're going to stretch your neck, your shoulders, your ab muscles and your upper back to make sure that you're nice and loose and flexible for singing. So we're going to start off with a little neck stretch. Side to side. Now I want you to roll your shoulders forwards. And backwards, standing up tall. Now we're going to do a little side bend to get these abdominal muscles working. I want you to try and keep your hips still if possible for this exercise to get the most stretch out of these side abs. So bending left first. That's it, really important to keep your hips still there if possible. So we're going to do one more stretch just to get your back nice and loose. I want you to take your right hand and put it on your left hip and turn all the way around to your right. Now swap it over, left hand on your right hip and turn all the way to your left. Now we're going to swap your hands over, so right hand, left hip, but this time turning left. Left hand, right hip, this turn, turning right. Have a little shake, make sure you're really loose. Make sure your knees are nice and loose. We don't like any locked knees for singing, just nice and flexible, and we're good to go. Guys, now I'm just going to get you to think a little bit about the muscles you use when you're breathing for singing. As you might know from choir or from singing lessons or from singing in class, when you sing it's really good to keep your shoulders low, but not stiff, just trying to avoid bringing them up when you breathe in. And to focus the power behind the breath down here in your abs. Now you know that anatomically your air goes into your lungs when you're singing, but actually if we focus the control down here on your abs, your abdominal region, it just gives you a little bit more strength and a bit more control over the sound that's coming out. As you exhale, as you're singing, the air vibrates against your vocal folds, it makes them vibrate to give you pitch, to give you the sound. So without that breath, there won't be sound. In order to make the sound really smooth and consistent, we want to just have a proper breath mechanism. So I'm going to get you to think about those ab muscles first of all. Put your hands on your abs for me and give me shh, shh, shh. Now let's try K. And a T. Okay, now we're going to try just develop on that a little bit. We're going to do 4 in a row. We're going to start with shh. And then on a 5th one, we're going to do a crescendo, getting louder over the space of 3 beats. So let me show you. Shh, 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 shh. You'll feel your abs coming back in as you do the crescendo, as you start to really release the air. Okay, let's do that together. 3 and shh, 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 shh. Okay, let's take that a little bit further. Let's do a S sound, double S rather than a sh. Let's try that. 3 and okay, feel that crescendo going from your abs. Last one, let's do it on one of our buzzy noises. Let's do it on a V sound. 3 and we're going to start off with what I call sirens. That's where you slide from the lowest note you can sing to the highest note you can sing. It sounds a little bit like a kind of messed up police siren. So I want you to do a siren for me with a noise that we call a lip trill. That's a noise. If you find that you struggle with this noise and you want to swap it for something else, that's absolutely fine. A double V sound or a double J sound will do just as good a job. So I'm going to use the lip trill slightly nice and low and high 3 times. I'm trying to go from the lowest note I can to the highest note really, really smoothly. Let's do one more. Okay, now we're going to focus those sounds a bit more specifically on your ranges. Okay, now we're going to use those buzzy noises to focus the range more specifically. So please make sure that you have the right video here so that you're using the right vocal range for your voice. So this video is for girls in years 7 to 10. We're going to use those slides to move upwards to the upper part of your voice. We're going to use the lip trill or whichever you prefer. I'd like you to start here. Now remember that as a bloke, my voice is naturally lower than yours. So if I'm singing this note, you guys are going to sing a whole octave higher. So if I sing, I want you to sing. That's far too high for me to sing normally. So I'm going to sing here, and you're here. Okay, let's start there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry if you run out of notes towards the top of that exercise. Similarly with the next one, if you run out of notes at the bottom, then that's okay too, especially if you're in year 7 and your voice is still quite young. You might not have the notes either end on these exercises. Don't worry too much, have a go, don't force anything, and let's just see what happens. We're going to move to the bottom of your voice, so we're going to do slides inverted from those. So rather than starting at the bottom and going upwards, we're going to start top and go downwards. I would like you guys to start here. We're going to slide with an sound, and I want you to stick your tongue between your teeth for this exercise like this. Gross, but I've got my reasons. And then we'll move downwards. Give that a go. Okay, now we're going to go back to our buzzy noises, and we're going to start to just get a little bit of a regular, even tone from you guys in your singing. So as I mentioned at the start with our breath exercise, without breath, we don't have sound in singing. If our breath is irregular, if it's jumpy, then the sound is going to be irregular and jumpy. So these next couple of exercises are to make sure the sound is really smooth and even. So first of all, we're going to do 2 5-note scales back to back, and we're going to use one of those buzzy noises. We're going to use v, if that's all right. So starting here, and if your breath is correct as you're singing, without your shoulders coming up, you'll feel your abs start to come back towards your body as you run out of air. It's your job to keep that retention, that muscle coming back, as smooth as possible and nice and regular, so that the resultant sound is also smooth and regular. Let's try 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing with one difference. The second set of notes, the second 5-note scale, I want you to swap that V sound for a vowel for OR. Now your job here is to make sure that when you transition from the buzz noise to OR, that it's not jumpy, that it's a really smooth transition from one to the other, and that your voice is letting out just the right amount of air throughout the whole exercise. So let me show you what I mean. So we'll do 6 of those again in total. Try and keep it as smooth as possible. It's a fairly boring exercise, but it's super nice for making sure that tone is regular. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now we're going to start opening a little bit more with some slides. We're going to alternate between the vowels E and R and slide over a bit of an arpeggio. The slide's pretty gross, but it's a really good way of warming up that muscle nice and smoothly, nice and comprehensively. So I'm going to start you guys here. And you're going to sing E-I-E-I-E. As much sliding there as possible, even if it affects the tuning a bit. It's the slide that's most important in this exercise. So starting here, E-I-E-I-E. Okay, we're going to do an exercise now which is a twang exercise. Now twang is a way of brightening the sound when you're singing. It involves making some pretty gross noises, but it really makes the sound brighter and just that bit clearer in the upper part of your voice. So it's one of those situations where we've got to make some gross noises to make the end result, the end singing, that bit better. So bear with it, okay? We're going to sing a 5-note scale and then a slide on a particular vowel, like R. And we're going to precede every vowel with a ny sound. The idea of this is just to get that brightness. So I'm going to start you guys here. And let me show you what I mean. It's a 5-note scale and then a slide. Nya, 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 nya. So So 5 notes and then a slide on nya. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to move on to an O vowel, so nyo with the scale and then the slide. Nyo, 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 nyo. Now ni, nice E sound. And ni, 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 Okay, next up we've got a vowel exercise. We're going to sing a descending pattern alternating between 2 vowels. Anybody who sang with me in choir or in class at any point over the last few years, you'll definitely know this exercise. The first 2 vowels we're going to use are oo and o. So I'll repeat that again. And we want one clear mouth-shaped pair vowel ideally. So oo and o. Here we go. Now o and ah. Now ah and eh. And a. And lastly, A and E. Okay, we're going to finish our vocal warm-up with a tongue twister. Now this is a tongue twister that a little girl called Sophia taught me about 5 years ago, back when she was really cute. This is a tongue twister that goes like this. Mummy made me munch my M&Ms, munch crunch. Okay, Mummy made me munch my M&Ms, munch crunch. Say it with me. Mummy made me munch my M&Ms, munch crunch. Now we're going to sing it on a 5-note scale with a jump at the end. So, for example here. Mummy made me munch my M&Ms, munch crunch. And we're going to do 5 of those in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely stuff. Now you should be ready to join one of the singing rehearsals that we've got for you on Google Classroom with your voice fully warmed up. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you have any questions about the exercises or if you've got any vocal difficulties, do let me know and we'll try and get to the bottom of those. Have fun, guys.